So there were some big changes last week to negative gearing, and it really reduced investment lending and the borrowing capacity that you have to buy an established property for investment. We spoke to 3 clients in the day after that, and I noticed that their borrowing capacities are reduced by anywhere between 26 and nearly half of what they could borrow a few days earlier. It was worse where your income was higher. So if you had an income of above 190,000, I noticed that the reduction was much higher, and also it was reduced where the yield on the property was lower. So if you're buying a property with a strong rental yield, your borrowing capacity is a lot better. Now, the question is, what do we do if buying an established investment property is a part of our wealth strategy? There's 3 things that are important to understand. The first, with our clients, we talk to them about their current situation and what they can do to improve their borrowing capacity. The same happens if you're buying an owner-occupied home, but at the moment it's even more important if you're buying an investment property. That can be looking at how I can pay off my HECS, reducing credit cards, closing Afterpay, Zip Pays, potentially car loans and car leases. All of those will have a big impact on your borrowing capacity. And if you are smart about how you close those down, that can really boost your borrowing capacity. The second thing is different lenders have different rules. When it comes to investment loans, there are a number of banks and financial institutions who are more aggressive and wanting to grow in this area of the market faster, and they will have more favourable rules that will give people a better borrowing capacity than what you might get with a lender who's not quite so interested. So for our clients, we're always looking at keeping some options available for you, looking at which banks are going to be an option for you. The last thing is something that I think that might happen. This is a little bit of a prediction for the rest of the year. Banks have targets, and their staff are measured on targets, their bonuses are paid on targets, and they're constantly tracking those targets. My opinion is it won't take very long for banks to realise that, hey, look, the amount of volume that we're doing in investment loans has reduced. They'll hit the panic button, so to speak, a little bit, and then they'll go, well, what can we do to improve our borrowing capacity in order to attract customers to come back to us? So while we have seen this big reduction recently in borrowing capacity, it wouldn't surprise me if over the coming months that we see changes in how they assess how much you can borrow for an investment property, so that it brings that borrowing capacity back up again. Now, it'll still be lower than what it was before the federal budget last week, but it should be a lot closer and not as much of a dip as it is currently.